Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Josh here. It's a beautiful day here in Kentucky. The date is September 1st, 2024, and we are finally out of this heat wave. It's been nasty hot. Not as much humid, but we had some heat indices like over the hundreds here. So it was a scorcher this past week or so, and grass around here is turning brown, and everything's drying up for sure. Not much nectar coming in, at least from what other beekeepers have been telling me. I need to get into a few colonies that I believe are still queenless. At this point, with the drone populations really starting to taper off, once you start getting into the month of September, you know, the bees start kicking them out of the hives. So what I may end up doing is doing some combines. Haven't decided yet if I'll stack a double deep. It just depends on how full the colonies are. If they're not very stuffed or not very full of bees, I'll likely just either shake the bees in a queen right colony, call it good, or take the frames out that are full of bees, put them in a queen right colony, remove frames that maybe don't have any food stores or anything on them, maybe undrawn wax, and call it good. So it's going to be a game time assessment when I get in those colonies. My two resource hives, I think they're both queenless, which is fine. When I do splits next spring, I'll probably put one or two of them in there if those colonies end up being queenless like I suspect they are. So, but I think there's like maybe 3 or 4 that I need to check. Other than that, I think the colonies are doing real good. I've been feeding, so that's the other thing I have to do today. I need to get some more sugar syrup because, like I said, I don't think there's very much nectar coming in now. There's quite a bit of pollen. I'm not sure what. I don't know if it's corn pollen. I do know some ragweed is popping. Not going crazy. I haven't seen ragweed everywhere, but ironweed, I don't know if there's much pollen that the bees get from ironweed. That's around. So I don't know. We just need to get out there, check some colonies, see what's going on, check food stores, see how that's doing, and get some food on these colonies, because I still plan on doing one more round of varroa treatments before we get into the true fall time frame, and getting these bees prepared for winter when we're going to start checking weights to make sure that they're at the appropriate weight heading into winter, have plenty of food stores, get those mites down as best as we possibly can, you know, close to zero as you possibly can. I'm probably going to hit them with a round of formic acid once these temperatures consistently drop below 85 degrees. So, and I need about a week worth of temperatures below 85 degrees. Yes, it'll shut the queens down. It's not necessarily a bad thing this time of year, because here in Kentucky, we don't get jack for a fall flow. I mean, I've been doing this 4 years now. I've never seen a good fall flow. Not that that's an eternity by any stretch of the imagination, but like a lot of beekeepers around here tell me, you know, don't count on much of a fall flow. So any nectar that the bees can bring in this fall, they get to keep. But yeah, I'm just gonna feed, try to get those weights up, make sure they got plenty of food, and get those mites knocked down, and then just do combines. Or, I mean, if there's laying workers, I may just end up shaking some out, who knows. But like I said, it'll be a game time decision. So let's go ahead and get the smoker lit. Let's get out to the bee yard, and let's check these colonies. Okay, here's the first colony. I suspect is not queen right. This one right here. I don't have a brick on top of it. Activity-wise, doesn't look much better to me when you compare it to the colonies next to it. And yes, I still have the mess under this one. And yes, it's been there for months. And yes, that makes me a terrible beekeeper. But we will get to it eventually. I promise. I was just waiting to see if I saw any bees coming in with pollen. I don't think so. I think this colony is queenless, and it could be a laying worker. So let's go ahead and get in here and see what lovely, I don't even know what I want to say, lovely surprises await us. Man, I'm fussing with this jacket again. I think I posted in a previous video. I just haven't uploaded that one yet, but I really want to know if you all know like something I can use to lubricate these zippers. This is terrible. Almost like okay, maybe we're not using this bee jacket today. There, good grief. That sounds like drone. I mean, I guess there's still drones around, but I doubt there's that many. And these zippers are terrible too. It's not like I leave this thing out in the rain. I don't know what's going on. All right. There we go. Let's see what is going on in here. I'm sure it's not good. Or not positive, at least. Like I said, it'll be a game time decision. I may end up opening this one, which I know is queen right, and just adding these bees to that and removing this and calling it a day. And then when I ever get my lazy butt around to collecting the huge colony underneath this colony, I may just put them right here. Now, granted, they're going to want to come right back up underneath all the foragers, but I think if I use a different bottom board, it doesn't have that scent. We'll get to that in that video. I don't want to go on a tangent here, so let's go ahead and pull this. Let's see what's going on in this colony. Set that feeder down. Oh my. Well, plenty of bees in here. Yeah, I might be surprised. All right. It's later in the evening, so there's going to be some cranky foragers in here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take this outer one out first. See what we're looking at. Try to pull this up as straight as I can. Okay, well, there's the sugar syrup I've been giving them. No eggs in that one. Not surprising at all. So we'll just set this one down. Let's see what this frame looks like. Not a whole lot of food on this frame, so need to keep feeding. I'm just looking to see if I find any eggs. And the answer is no. Just scanning for a queen real quick. Not going to spend a lot of time. Trying to get the sun over my shoulder here so I can look down in these cells to see if I see any eggs. And so far I do not. So we'll keep looking. Surprisingly, quite a few bees in this colony, considering I think it's been queenless for a little while. Well, and here's another thing. I'm just looking at some of these bees. Some of them are looking a little greasy. Could be a mite issue. Sort of black, greasy looking. They lose the hair, which is what gives it the yellow color on their abdomen. And I'm not seeing any eggs. I really don't think they're queen right. Yeah. They would probably be thrilled if I introduced a queen right now. I said there are quite a few bees in this colony, though, so I'm tempted to just combine them with the queen right colony. I may end up overwintering the double deep, and then I could just turn around and split them in the spring. Have two singles. Of course, I'm really going to have to get the food up on this colony. I just think it's too late to try to ask a colony to requeen themselves. I have had success in September before, but I don't recommend it in this area. You can always buy a mated queen. That's certainly an option. I personally have never done that. It's not that I'm opposed to it. I just haven't done it. I like to raise my own queens, just personal preference. Really just want to make sure I'm looking down in these cells and don't see anything. Oh, wait a minute. No, I don't think they're queen right. No. And they do have food stores, so I wouldn't say they're starving or anything, because I know colonies that are on the verge of starvation can appear queenless. And one of the main reasons for that is the fact that bees will cannibalize the brood as the colony starts to approach starvation. And so any eggs or brood that's in there, they will start to eat and cannibalize it. No, no eggs here, just a little bit of food. Yeah, this colony will turn into laying workers anytime. So far, I don't see any signs of laying workers. I'm seeing 0 eggs, 0 brood whatsoever. So after that queen mandibular pheromone combined with the open brood pheromone, the worker bee's ovaries will begin to activate in the absence of that. And from my limited experience, that can be roughly 2 weeks. There's some good either nectar or sugar syrup that I gave them on this frame. So at least some decent food here. But yeah, this colony is definitely queenless, as I suspected. Some of these really this darker comb can fool you if you look too quickly. You got to really give it a good look down in there. Get the sun over your shoulder. I wish one of those resource colonies was queen right, because I'd throw a queen right in this colony, do a direct introduction, and they'd be so happy to see her. There's some food in that frame. Check out this last one, see if there's any food on it. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit of food. A bit of capped honey here. Not a ton. Of course, no brood. Let's see what this side looks like. Yeah, some more sugar syrup or probably the stuff I've been feeding them, I've been putting that Hive Alive in it. I'm anxious to see how that gets my bees coming out of the wintertime. Yeah, they're getting a little irritated here. So, what to do? I'm half tempted to go in those resource colonies, just see if by a miracle there's a queen in there, and then I'll just put her in here and throw those bees in here with her. I mean, why not? Get this colony ready for the wintertime, get her laying. Of course, that means there's not going to be, even if she starts laying today, that means there's not going to be more adult worker bees, the fat bees that she's supposed to be laying right now this time of year, until 21 days later. So, not ideal, but best thing probably to do would be to combine this colony with a queen right colony. Give them a boost in population and extra resources. Maybe a queen right colony that's not huge, Okay, let's go take a look at this before I put this colony back together. Let's go take a look at these resource colonies, just to see if we got super lucky and there's a queen in either one of them. So let's go take a look.